Start 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's see how LinkedIn's doing. Okay. So, okay, let's go live. All right. Seems like all systems are in place. Everything's running.
We're live.
We're live. So, welcome back, everyone, to Odys Talks live stream. This show is hosted by Odys Global, your one stop shop for aged domains, premium names, and websites as of recently. Yep. Oh man, I forgot to put my cap on, but I do have this cool sign behind my back.
Yeah,
So
there's lots of Odys in this live stream.
all over the place.
Yeah,
So yeah, make sure to like this video. Don't forget to ask your questions in the chat section. We will try to do our best to cover everything possible regarding the new platform, the new services, new features, maybe even new designs, some upcoming stuff as well, I believe. So it's going to be a fun and info packed session this time. And yeah, as you can see today, I'm joined by Alex Drew, our Odys Global founder and CEO. So I don't think he needs any introduction at this point. So I believe that we can just go ahead and kick things off.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live.
All right.
thanks for
Yeah.
having me, Vladimir. First, thanks for having me. Yeah, it's an honor to be on the show. I've been only twice. I think you already did like
This is
12,
this is 15.
the 15th. Yeah, so yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah. Oh, and thanks for joining the show, and yeah, just taking the time to cover all of these things that are out there. Because yeah, we've launched the new marketplace, and people are prying around, figuring things out. But I think it's the best way to do this is just to hear everything from the person who knows, understands, and pretty much sees everything clearly. So yeah, today we're having this special edition of Odys Talks dedicated to the Odys marketplace.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm not sure about clarity. I definitely don't see everything clear. Obviously, predicting stuff is very difficult, but at least that was somehow, at least that was part of my vision, the entire new marketplace. So, as always, who else except the person that came up with the vision and the idea to actually spill the beans, share the stuff, explain how it works. So again, thanks for having me. I'll do my best to answer all your questions. I believe there are some concepts and ideas that you might have questions on your own. So you will lead with the questions. I'll try to follow. If there are any questions from the audience, I'll gladly answer them as well.
sure thing. Sounds cool. Yeah. Speaking of like the change of concept and seeing things clearly to some extent, at least, like the Otis marketplace has has gone through several iterations by this point, right? So I remember you were saying it um, on several occasions, even when you've been on the Opportunity podcast hosted by Greg Elfrink, that like you pretty much despised the idea of having these spreadsheets stuffed with domain names and some stats, metrics, and making people to go through this pretty much daunting experience of like finding the name, then checking the metrics. So yeah, eventually we are where we are with the marketplace. So yeah, as everyone can see, the new marketplace, the new platform, is has become even clearer and brighter in visual terms, like providing the more room to breathe, I'd say. Check, not just seeing the logo and then scrolling through data, but basically like understanding what's what they see in front of them, right? So what led you and the design team and development team to this reconsideration of this concept of like, even though we've already had this pretty nice looking marketplace just a few months back, right before the new one was launched, it's still like you still saw that there's room for improvement, right? So could you walk us through that?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, the problem with spreadsheets, I don't have anything against spreadsheets. I believe up to this day, we still get requests like, can we get your entire database of domain in a spreadsheet? So it's easier to filter by, let's say, number of recurring domains or DR just by, clicking on the DR column in a spreadsheet. The problem itself with spreadsheets, it's not how easy or difficult it is to access data, but rather making it almost impossible to increase the perception of value and show the real value of these domains. And this is only possible when you actually display them in a nicely crafted marketplace with properly designed landing pages where you get the visual aesthetics and when you also get the chance to actually explicitly show what makes the domain valuable, from the name to the link equity to the growth strategy to anything that could help you kickstart your website by using one of these domains. And I believe I've always been a fan of building something that is worth building, so to speak, and not just running a business for the sake of making money, even though that's the main goal of every company. But just to answer the question, like, why did we progress from a marketplace that was pretty much decent to something that we'll try to make even better, is specifically mainly related to scalability in terms of technicalities like the entire database, the programming language, how it's built, the ability to add features, building separate systems and APIs to avoid clogging the entire marketplace and the entire product. And that's on the technical side. On the front end side, like on the visual side, I believe we needed the ability to segment the market, to add more types of inventory. For instance, we've started as a shop of age domains that we owned ourselves to a marketplace that now accepts 3 types of different inventory. That is age domain, that is premium names, and that is website. And there is no stopping there. Due to the way the new marketplace is built, now we can scale into multiple other products, type of inventories, and services. And I believe the biggest milestone that we've reached recently, and we somehow progressed through it and didn't even realize how important that was the transition from a shop to a marketplace. And that is huge, because we had like a couple hundred premium age domains in our own inventory, domain that we owned, and we launched the marketplace. Now we have more than 1,000. And when I say 1,000, that's not something that's stagnating, like just sitting there. We have sales, we have new acquisitions, we have newly added third-party inventory. So we've progressed from a shop to a marketplace. And the difference is you own the inventory in a shop most of the time, right? Mm-hmm. In a marketplace, you're a real marketplace. Now you have to deal with both buyers and sellers. The difference, and the main difference, which our audience and listeners should understand, is that with a marketplace, you cannot be as biased as with the shop. In a shop, I can play around with the pricing, I can be biased, I can try to manipulate to increase the margins of my domains. With a marketplace, I cannot list a third-party domain lower in pricing, or when it comes to evaluation, than my own inventory, or I cannot list my own inventory high in pricing, or vice versa. So there should be transparency, and maybe we'll find time to tackle the new reevaluation and pricing strategy later on. There should be transparency, there should be proper policies in place, there should be system that facilitates not only the buying side, but the selling side as well. And I believe the market lacked a service that would be a two-sided marketplace, so to speak, because most of our competitors are shops in a way, So that has been the main thing. And another great addition, I believe, is this strategy of offering other tools and services and even mentors, people who will help you on your way to launch your website or build your business, that we've managed to use to complement the concept of the marketplace. And as a matter of fact, it goes along really well, and we're quite proud of it.
Yeah. Thank you for this really extensive answer. We'll get into parts of it later on for further down the road. One of the things I also wanted to tackle here is that, well, we are, as a company, as a brand, we're tightly connected with the SEO community, affiliate marketers, niche site builders, right? And well, as many other people were saying and are saying, even on this show, like there's there are these two different mentalities in this particular industry, right? So some people are focused on like really building a legitimate business and scaling it, while others are looking for a quick side hustle. And the thing that I've been actually quite surprised back about 1 year ago when we first sat down and had this and recorded the first episode of Odys podcast uh, was that you said um, that that one should handle their site as a business, not just as a hustle, because it won't last. And I kept hearing this throughout this year, even a few weeks back in Tallinn, in Estonia, at the SEO Estonia conference. By the way, shout out to Carl Kanger, Timo Porval, and Kyle Roof for doing
Yeah,
this. It was an
that
amazing
was a
event.
great event. Yeah.
Yeah, and I kept hearing this about not just about people not focusing on quick and short-term side hustles, but rather on building and developing businesses. So this was quite surprising to me at some point, but I can say that right now we're not that we're like directly focused on providing domains to people looking for building businesses, but it's we're somehow like prompting the idea of not just using domain for whatever affiliate marketing project and then getting rid of it, but actually like, founding a business and evolving it further on.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think the biggest issue I'm seeing when doing strategy calls, when talking to people, especially beginners in the affiliate marketing, content, niche website building business, is that for some reason they believe that operating a site, even though there are like, it's a business model that cannot be replicated in any other industries. I mean, the margins are great, the ROI is just huge, assuming you know what you're doing and you get lucky with the website and with all the hard work that you're putting in. By lucky, I mean you're not finished by a Google update, or you know how to get to let's say get rid of a penalty that has hurt your site. The main problem is that some people think that operating a website is somehow different from operating a business. The main problem, as I suspect, is that lots of people coming to the industry are either not familiar or disappointed with how corporate works, like the corporate work, corporations, firms, like companies, and they somehow think that they can have like this website that is somehow separate, that can be managed differently. And then they either go and do the mistake of just, launching a website, somehow trying to cut corners and make some money, thinking that, that's their way to financial freedom, which is incorrect. It doesn't work that way. And they forget that operating as a company, even your own personal brand has to be operated as a company. You still have profit and loss reports. You still have to understand margins, cash flow, profitability, like net margin. All that's important. And most people get that wrong. So when talking about websites, I'm a big fan of starting with the basic. And the basic is like, why do you start a business? You start a business to make money. So when you start a business to make money, first of all, who makes the most money? A brand that, or a venture that started just yesterday, or a brand that has been around for years? Some brand has been around for tens, hundreds of years. So the more well-known a brand is, I've always gave this analogy. You take a pair of sneakers with no brand, and no one will pay more than $10 for them, or like 20, 30, whatever. And you take a pair of sneakers and you just stamp any great big brand, Nike, let's say, or any, and you can charge $100 for the same thing, just for the sake, just because of the brand. So when you have the brand mentality and the long-term brand mentality, now you can build something that's solid, that has a chance to harness the authority and to win in time. Now, the website mentality people, they for some reason believe that they can launch a website, they can be successful, they can gain that financial freedom. It doesn't really work that way. Another problem, especially in the SEO community, is the fact that people think black hat, gray hat, whatever color hat mentality. And I believe that unless they are busy doing scientific research on how Google works, the algo works, they're doing the wrong thing, because Google as a company has one main goal: pleasing, the stockholders, making money, right? You as a business owner has the exact same goal. You and your company make money. So, well, when you have the make money hat or mentality, just like even Koray, I believe, in his latest presentation, he said, like, I don't care, call me any hat. My goal is to run a business. So, and a business has to make money, and Charles Float and everyone else, like Craig, everyone that we have like close to us as a business, they all have the same mentality. Like rarely anyone cares what kind of hat you wear, like talking domains, SEO, marketing, growth strategies, guerrilla marketing, whatever, you name it. The goal is to make money. Obviously, you don't have to do anything stupid and illegal, but the goal is to make money. Obviously, be nice, be decent, make money. So sometimes, and even when we get into debates about, how do you see domains or Google treating age domains in the future? Well, it works. And if you view and I return to your main question now, if you view your business, your website as a business, the entire perception towards age domains, parasite SEO, whatever works right now or whatever can be properly implemented to your business to generate growth is just yet another means of growth. If you take any brick or mortar business owner and you start telling him or her or them anyway about SEO as a means to generate more traffic or leads, they will be in if you can generate a return on investment or whatever they will have to pay you. With website owners, sometimes they will be skeptical, mainly because they rely on one traffic source, and that is Google, and they are too scared to experiment. So I encourage everyone to embrace the no hat mentality, whatever makes money hat mentality. Think building long-term, building a business. That's why starting with a great name is always recommended. Anyway, and always treating their website and brand as a business, not something that is separate from the... So I don't like corporate America as well, but this doesn't mean that you don't have to operate as a corporation, as a company, as a firm. That is how things work. That's how you scale. That's how you grow. So that being said, I highly encourage, again, everyone to zoom out a little bit. I view every single opportunity to grow their business as a means to generate more traffic, more leads, and just influence growth. And stop perceiving that as some kind of either quick hack, quick win, or just side hustle to win now. We should really practice abstinence towards quick wins and think long term. And that applies to domains as well.
Yeah, thank you. That brings me back to what Matt Diggity said in our podcast episode. Like, it doesn't matter if it's white hat, gray hat, black hat. It's always a business decision.
Of course.
Yeah. Speaking of names, since you mentioned it, and you mentioned it previously, there are two new product categories right now in our marketplace. Well, new at this point: premium names and websites. Okay, well, while we understand, everyone understands like conceptually that website means a live website, a domain with a live website. Why did you decide to separate age domains and premium names and place them in two separate categories rather than just going along with the premium age domains idea?
Well, first of all, that is just extra segmentation, just delivering more to groups of people who just need different things. So it doesn't cannibalize each other. So that's a good thing. Another thing is sometimes people get confused, like, why does this domain have a website and the other one doesn't have a website? Like, what's the difference? Does it make money? Or what was the thing with the website? Then you can't really list names with no SEO value in a marketplace that has built its brand on selling domains with SEO value. So we had to differentiate, and I believe we somehow managed to. The main reason why we started added premium names, and we actually view even the terminology that we use is different. So for domains that have SEO value, meaning link equity, they have backlinks from all the authority sources, we call them age domains, just to differentiate in terms of terminology again. Domains that have just great names, we call them premium names. So, and even the marketplace, if you go to type and click type, you will see like we have age domains, premium names, and websites. And now any great name that has a website on, and by website, I mean it has it's actually a live website. It's not a 404, it's not a park page, and it has content and it has some kind of traffic value or link value. And it has a website on, so that is the main criteria. It has to have a website on. We list that as websites. Now, the reason we added premium names in the first place was because the main problem and the main constraint that we have identified with age domains, sometimes, even for inventory in niches like health and tech, where we have a lot of inventory, sometimes you have buyers or members say, well, I really like the links, but the name is just gibberish. And by the way, we really try to get the best names we can, but sometimes they just don't like the name. So let's say they want to launch gardening domain, a gardening website, and they see a domain like talktoaplant.com. That was the domain of a former whatever eco-friendly campaign. And even though it might have like links from gardening related website, the name is just something that they don't simply like. So it's like not liking the clothes you wear, you want to change them. So in some of the cases, they will refrain from investing and buying the domain just because they don't like the name. And we realized that we could be offering premium names that don't necessarily have SEO value as a strategy to rebrand and obviously redirect. So you could be buying 2 domains instead of 1 and using one as the flagship website, as the main blog. So for instance, let's say you have gardeningwisdom.com as the premium name and no SEO value, and you have talktoaplant.com, which is a former gardening website, just doesn't have a name that you like. So now what you can do is you can take talktoaplant.com and rebrand to gardeningwisdom.com. And now you harness all the backlink authority of talktoaplant.com, but you operate on gardeningwisdom.com. And obviously there are proper ways to do that. The redirect itself, there are strategies, we call them the rebranding strategy, the merger and acquisition strategies. There are tested ways to make things work. And that's about premium names. So we are not a marketplace where people would join to buy names for the sake of investing in names. Premium names were necessary as an alternative for the lack of proper names in the age domain world. So if I want a psychic readings related domain and I want to build that as a brand, as a sustainable long-term brand and big website and flip it for 7 figures later on, I cannot build it on a name that doesn't pass the radio test. I cannot spell, because sometimes there are really great names that simply do not pass the radio test. It's really difficult. Like if I can pronounce it and no one will understand that's not a brand I can build on. So that's with premium names. With websites, the third type of inventory that we added, sometimes we'd get domain submissions from third-party sellers that will have websites on. And if you are entirely focused on domains, you will tell them, you will get rid of the site, or you will ask them to change DNS to serve a landing page. And since you mentioned that our audience is mainly SEOs and people who have a very good in-depth understanding of SEO, they will say, well, that website could have been handy. I could have used the content, I could have used the brand, I could have used the links, I could have used, let's say, some of the rankings it had, I could have used the traffic. Why kill the website? Why delete the website? Keep it on. So we started keeping websites live on the domains that were submitted, and we've seen that there is lots of interest towards buying domains that have at least some kind of MVP, minimum viable website on. And we've noticed there is interest in that. And by the way, those websites don't necessarily have to make money. So sometimes they have trickle traffic, they may have some rankings, they may have been a starting website. Like you buy a domain, you start a website, later on you shift focus to another project and you decide to sell. Do not kill the website, do not delete the website, leave it there. It can be really, really handy for someone and useful in their business. And now, since we've decided to launch this third type of inventory, there's been quite a bit of demand. Some marketplaces like Empire Flippers or Motion Invest, they only will accept your website for sale if it has like a limit earnings threshold, like $2,000 or $500. Some of the websites in the marketplace we have, besides being built on a great age domain and having a good name and a website on, they can even earn money. So we have no problem accepting websites that make like $50 to $100, $150, $250 a month. That's a great startup website to further build on. So in some of the cases, that's a quick win as well, because obviously you have the crowd that has money-making websites that aren't yet the Empire Flippers level, yet they don't have where to sell it. So instead of going to Facebook groups, they'd rather work with a brand that has skin in the game. We're not going anywhere, and we would gladly broker it and offer it for sale to our members. So that's what the decision of diversifying our inventory into premium names and website was based on.
Yeah, sounds pretty clear. And speaking of the M&A model, the redirect thing, a lot of people are actually interested in redirecting all the link juice of H domains to their existing websites. And I've heard it from you. I've heard it from many different people that a lot of people are doing it incorrectly. And was this what led us to offering 3-in-1 redirects as a service?
Yeah, I mean, there is really, it's not complicated. Let me put it that way. It's not complicated, yet if that's not the main focus that you actually dedicate your time to on a daily basis, most likely you will miss something. Most likely you will not pick the best strategy for your website, because every single website is unique. Every single domain that you redirect to a particular website is unique, starting with former inner pages that have to be matched, then the database or content migration strategy, the merger and acquisition strategy, or if it's a rebrand, then it's a different strategy. So we thought, like, initially we started doing it for free, but then we realized that it's not that people do not appreciate free, it's like they do not actually, they try to do it themselves. So we would tell them how to do it as coaching, as consulting, but they will always mess it up. And most of the time the feedback would get, it would be much easier if you pay you $500 and you could do it from us from start to end. And we said, why not? And right now we're working, the landing page itself is already built, the copywriting, and we'll launch it as a full-fledged service where we have people in our team that will help you with this strategy, with the ongoing support, and we actually implementing it so that it gets you results. I believe this is very important because everyone has heard that 3-in-1 redirects work from an SEO perspective. I'd say they bring even more value if you view your website as a business, and the SEO growth is just a side effect when it's properly done, technically properly done. So yeah, we decided to offer that as a service, mainly because our buyers are busy business owners, entrepreneurs, and they rarely have time to micromanage this particular part of their growth strategy. They'd rather outsource it. So we identify that as a bottleneck in their business, and we decided to offer them a solution.
And it seems like this was the same reason for going into the hosting direction as well, because they this way they don't need to look for another service, for another company. They get everything in one place.
Yeah. So if you put yourself in the shoes of a business owner, website owner, the last thing you want to do is market research on different areas of different areas of the services that you're going to use, starting with, let's say, I have to figure out who's the best content provider or AI company that creates content, or whatever is popular right now. I have to figure out what the best hosting provider, the fastest one. I have to figure out who's the best domain provider. I have to figure out who's the best managed WordPress hosting provider. So what we realized, and when someone has already bought something from us, and an age domain in the four figures, thousands of dollars, is a relatively substantial investment to get started. They already trust us. So why not help them save time? So instead of buying from us, then figuring out where should I buy hosting, where should I buy content, how do I optimize my website, how do I grow it, why not incorporate all these microservices into the business and offer them as a chance to just scale faster, move faster, launch the website faster. So for instance, if you buy the domain from us, you choose our hosting, you can have the website live in like 30 minutes. From what we observe, in most cases, people buy a domain and it might take weeks till they even decide to claim ownership. Then it might take another week or two till they figure out where they should host it. Then it might take another week or two till they do like the keyword research and they figure out what kind of, where should I buy the content? So if you deal with just us, things can move much faster, like 10 times more faster. That's because we will just handle everything, and it's just easier to move around when dealing with the same company. So that was the main reason for hosting. Yeah, to answer your question, the short answer would be yes.
Yeah, and yeah, in the same manner, the topic clusters. We started how long? Maybe a month ago, maybe less.
Well, we've been providing the service for at least half a year privately, but as a service, yeah, it's like a month.
Yeah, I mean, when we launched it as a service, we even have a pretty landing page for that. So yeah, why topic clusters, not just content creation services?
So obviously, everyone knows Google has evolved, so you cannot just try to rank for electric scooters and publish a page on electric scooters and think you will rank. So besides the page rank algo and the links, you need topical authority. Topical authority means proving Google that you are an expert and you have authority on a particular given subject. And that means having quite a bit of content. That is simply put, quite a bit of content. And the way to achieve that is topic cluster. You have to build a cluster of subtopics related to your main pillar article, like put it in SEO terms, and you need to cover the topic in its entirety. And this is a very important part of the ranking process. You need to have enough, let's say, link authority, and you need to have enough topical authority to rank. And that's why, like, we solve the link authority part of the game with H domains. And it's funny because sometimes someone will seek to buy a domain and they're like, well, yeah, but it's slightly above my budget. And then I ask them, well, do you have a link building budget? And they say, yes. Well, you can take the link building budget and use it to buy the domain you really want and think will give you a distinct advantage and a competitive advantage. That's because you most likely won't need the link building budget for at least 6 months to a year, because when building on an H domain, you get that link equity to begin with, and now you can focus just on content. So you should scale via topic cluster or any other means that work for you. So with topic clusters, the idea is that we had the link part figured out initially, and now we had to offer them a chance to launch the website, to scale the content properly. Even now, like today is like the 30th of August, 2023, 21st century, we still have buyers buying very expensive high-end domains and just posting gibberish content. So that is, I won't say killing the domain, but it's wasting of time and resources and money. So we said, well, it's a pity really. Let's offer a proper service for creating content that is built around Google's BERT algorithm that is perceiving content differently via entities, via semantics. Like everything Korai does, for example, the reason it's popular because it works. So when covering a topic in its entirety, you prove Google like you're the expert. You know what you're talking about. You have so many entities covering, inserted, properly incorporated, interlinked within your content. So that cluster makes sense. So this is what we're doing via topic cluster service. Mm-hmm. This is why we launched it.
So just another way, an additional way of leveraging a domain's authority.
Absolutely.
In the right direction. Speaking of authority, are there any plans to expand in this directions in this direction anytime in the future?
In terms of content or additional services?
Additional services.
Yeah, another big thing besides, let's say, link authority or domain authority, as we'd call it for H domains, and topical authority is EAT, which everyone knows that stands for experience, expertise, authority, and trust, which you have to prove. Like, who the heck are you in this big internet world to talk about, let's say, any given subject. And that is via
Squirrels.
transparency. Yeah. Let's say pest control, like especially in niches that can affect your health or your financial
Yeah.
life. We call them your money, your life niches, like mortgages, credit cards, health advice. And as Kyle Roof said in one of the live streams, the main problem he sees these days is not the quality of the content most of the time, but the lack of transparency of websites. And as we all know, if Rater Hub has visited your website and they can't simply answer the question who's beside the content, or what in the world makes you an expert to talk about, let's say, male health. Like, who are you to give that particular type of advice? And if you don't have the credential, if you don't have skin in the game, as we put it, generally speaking, if you do not have the like an address, a phone number, all that, so most likely your website will not stand the test of Rater Hub. I won't get more philosophical, the test of time. Simply, the manual review will not let it. Will just penalize the website. So one thing that we're launching right now, I believe it will go live in a week or two, is in an EAT audit, which will allow, because sometimes people will buy domains, we'll help them grow, they will experience some growth. Then at some point when they start ranking for more competitive keyword, they're like, well, what happened to my website? And one way to figure out is see if your website has been visited by Rater Hub. And if it has, most likely it's a manual penalty generated by the fact that you don't have a phone number, a privacy policy page, you don't have an authors page, you don't have a team page, you're not a real company, and all the bells and whistles that a real legitimate business has. So the EAT audit, which will cost like something around $500, and it will give you like a full report of what's missing, will be yet another service that I believe is extremely important these days, because there is really no problem with putting any type of content on the web as long as there's someone behind it to actually answer and stand behind the advice. So, and that has been the problem with affiliate marketing for a very long period of time, because since you're not providing a service or building a product, you're merely just pushing traffic to an offer or to a service. So Google has a problem with that. They want to know who stands behind the website. And with the EAT audit service, our goal would be to just help website owners and explain them why this is really important and give them solutions to fix the problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And any other services planned to launch anytime soon?
Yeah, I mean, there will be a couple. I won't talk about them right now, but
Okay.
these are like the most important ones, I'd say, because these are the most popular, like 301 redirects, building, scaling content on a website based on properly built topical maps and topic clusters. Then the EAT, like these make the core foundation of the website these days.
Okay. So yeah, everyone listening, expect for the EAT audit service at Odys. Just stay tuned and reach out to us and ask about it if you're not seeing it or just curious about it.
We're already providing it as a service just privately to our members, those who have website related issues. They ask for advice, but it will go public, I believe, in a week or two.
Awesome, nice. Now, I'd really like us, you in particular, to talk about the mentorship program.
Yeah.
So, as everyone knows, everyone watching the Odys Talks live streams, we have in each episode we have at least one mentor in session. So, for the past 2 weeks, we didn't have any because we decided to do these two special episodes. One was with Lasso last week, and today we're totally focused on the new features on the new Odys marketplace. So mentors are, in a nutshell, people from within the industry who have authority, who have built successful websites on aged domains in particular, who can provide their assistance in either like selecting the right domains, then developing a viable strategy for new websites or whatever. And yeah, and they have joined the Odys mentorship program. You can consider them a part of our team somewhat.
Yep.
So yeah, but I think there's more to it that you could fill everyone in.
Sure. So let's put it this way. It took me at least 15 years of my life to reach this position. And I wouldn't call it like being tremendously successful, but at least I've managed to figure some things out. And, you know, I'm not that dumb as I was 15 years ago. If I had a mentor, I believe I could have trimmed down that 15 years period in like, you know, a year and a half, 2-3 years. If I would have known the people that I know today, from whom I learn on a daily basis, people that are within my network, people that I constantly ask advice for, I could have reached this point much, much, much earlier. So, and those who still hesitate on finding a mentor are really missing out, because if you are looking for shortcuts in your business, don't treat your website as a side hustle, treat it as a business, yet you can cut corners by having a mentor. And I've realized that every successful person I've met in my life had a mentor or has a mentor or had multiple mentors to achieve that level of mastery or success in their life. And with that being said, I've thought, and considering that most of the time, especially with domain sales, and not only, anything related to online marketing and building a business online, led to people asking questions like, how do I do that? How do you do that? Like, what would you recommend? How do I take it from here? And at some point I realized, well, I have become a mentor. I act as a coach. I help them out. I'm keen to provide all the advice they need, and not just to make the sale. Obviously, like I rarely expect anything in return. Like, the goal is just to help, and that brings you more joy than money. For those who don't know, giving is more enjoyable than getting. So I figure out that we need something that would be both scalable and at the same time offer diversity, because I do know a few things about SEO, but there are people who are way above me. Like, let's take Kyle Roof on anything SEO, technical SEO. Let's take, let's say, James Dooley and Castra and all their team on anything EAT, for instance, or disavowing links, or any like in-depth niche part of SEO. So you cannot compete really with those folks. Like so that's why we realize we need more mentors. Or generally speaking, you cannot just hire salespeople to teach your members how to build websites unless they have built their own. So we thought we need a different concept. So what we did, we emailed our members and say, who among our members who successfully built and flipped websites on our domains would be keen to join the Mentors program? And we got more than 100 people applied. I believe we did like 20, 30, 50, I don't remember anymore, interviews. We ended up onboarding 8. Some of them have left. Some we already onboarded new ones, mainly because not everyone is keen to just provide this advice, let's say, for free without expecting anything in return. And we ended up with a handful of really talented and devoted mentors who would be keen to help you out with a decision on buying a domain, starting a business, branding, SEO, anything really when it comes to starting an online business. So the Mentors program is really a great opportunity because there are people who are keen to help you. And if it's advice related to picking a domain, that will be completely free. They will be keen to follow up. And if it's like a different type of like a specific problem in your business, you can actually hire them. You can pay them for an hour or just book them for the longer term and have them coach you around. And as said, I often get asked the question, I have $10,000 or I have $100,000. What should I do with the money? Well, as the famous Warren Buffett said, invest in yourself. Don't invest in the stock market. That's not enough. You will lose the money. Invest in yourself. So if you have spare funds that you're looking to invest in yourself. And one of the good means to do that would be, in our case, the mentorship program. So take advantage of our mentors. You can go to our marketplace, log into the marketplace. There's a link in the top nav menu called Mentors. Click on the link. You will see the list of mentors there. You will see tags related to their different type of expertise. For example, we have Tim Schmidt, who has successfully sold a online skincare company. And besides his very in-depth understanding of SEO, he obviously built and sold a skincare company. So if you're starting to if you're looking to start a skincare website, Tim would probably be the best one to talk about it. And each and every mentor has his own success stories, which are great to tap into. And that, I believe, has given Odys as a marketplace a completely different direction and opportunity. And we are looking forward to build on that. And as you probably know, we're already onboarding 3 or 4 even new mentors these days, and we won't reveal the names yet, but I believe these are very influential and authority people from within the industry who have built and sold websites for 7 or more figures. So these are tested folks. And it just offers a platform to connect with these people, because otherwise you'd really have to cold outreach to them and try to, ping them via LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, whatever. This gives you the direct access to these awesome people who already have built businesses, products. And this is what the Odys Mentors program is. And this is like the basic concept. I'm positively sure we will build on that and further scale and evolve it in time.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just reminded me this reel on TikTok you sent me like several months ago about I don't remember who it was, the guy who was speaking, but the concept of influencing the influencers. And this is really what happened with our mentorship program. I mean, we've first onboarded people from within our members base, right? And it rested for a while. We launched the program. It started to show its results, its fruits, right? I mean, the people, how many are there? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5 people who are now in the mentorship program. I mean, they clearly see the value of doing it for themselves, and just like who was it? I don't remember. Was it James Dooley or was it Hasib Balik in Tallinn who said that these are the people who are not doing it for money. They're doing it for something else, right? So yeah, and right now, as you mentioned, these like 3 or 4, I actually think it's even 5 people who are like interested in joining it are actually the result of this concept, influencing the influencers, which is really 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 cool. I really liked it as a concept, but I haven't really seen it in action until the past few weeks, which is really really cool.
And the funny thing is beyond influencing the influencers and using, let's say in our case, mentors with our audience as a means to become more popular, I believe the real value is, and that's something that we tackled in the mastermind during the awesome mastermind that Kyle Roof and his team organized at SEO Estonia in Tallinn. I believe the concept is just building a strong network of same-minded people. And so for those who don't know, like before the SEOestonia.com conference started, a day before, Kyle Roof and Carl Kanger and Timo, they organized masterminds. And
for speakers, sponsors, and VIP ticket holders.
And when we tackled the Odys mentorship program in the mastermind and asked for advice, like how we take it from there, everyone said like the most knowledgeable people that would join the mentors program, they would not join it for the money. Obviously, if you send someone money, they will take it, but their goal is to actually share their knowledge. Their goal is to help. And most importantly, their goal is to be part of a network. So every single time, even a mentor, like you may be a successful lawyer, but if you need SEO advice and you will connect with someone from the mentors program, you will not only get SEO business advice, you would also make a friend. You will also create a relationship for life in some cases. So connecting awesome people is also one of the goals of the mentors program. And I believe during the mastermind, I believe it was Hasib or James Dooley who suggested like one of the best incentivize for mentors would be like creating this network that would help each other. And that is worth much more money than whatever mentors can earn from helping via paid strategy call or building growth strategy via video blueprints. That goes beyond that. So Odys Mentors is something that we've successfully launched, I'd say, and we're still building, but the future of it is is very bright, and we're yet to discover the opportunities that will emerge from this idea. And that's the Odys Mentors program.
Yeah. There's a question in our YouTube chat. Brainsploit is asking, do you guys have any private community like Discord or WhatsApp or Telegram where we can get your mentorship? I'll give a a partial answer to that. We do have a Discord channel. You can reach out to us via our support chat on our website. But if you want to get this mentorship, you should, if you still do not have an access to the marketplace, just request it, get approved, and go to the mentors tab and see what can be useful for you.
Yeah. What I can add to it. So the problem with communities, they're awesome, but it can lead to playing I wouldn't call it a procrastination game, but the info game. So you're constantly being exposed to more information and just asking questions, whether a 1 hour or half an hour or 1 hour session, in-depth session with a mentor, where you get to talk face-to-face, ask questions, take notes, and actually write down actionable advice, would really promote you to the next level. And that is the effect that usually is follows like these mentor session training programs. This is the effect that you get from spending 5 hours in a mastermind. You go out a different person. Like some cells in your brain, they change being exposed to that information. Like you can obviously request access to our Discord channel. We do have some chat there back and forth, but Odys mentors are available via these 1 hour calls. And if you are buying a domain and need advice, they will offer the call for free, because obviously they earn a little bit when you're buying the domain. If you have like specific advice related to your existing business and you don't necessarily want to buy a domain, let's say you want to pick Tim Schmidt's brain on how to scale your own skincare business, or you want to learn from Kyle Claver how he successfully sold his website built on an H domain from Odys via Empire Flippers, like you could have direct access to Kyle. And usually the amount of information you can get from a strategy call is way beyond what you can get from a written reply in Slack or Discord. That's why we recommend these live calls, really, because it's just a different experience knowing the person and getting to talk face to face.
I hope this answers your question, Brainsploit. Thanks for it, by the way. We're gradually running out of time, so I'm just thinking what I would want to tackle right now. Just for a short answer from you, Alex. I'm not sure if there is an opportunity for whoever is interested beyond those people who are already, let's say, in the process of joining the mentorship program. But if someone listened to this to our conversation right now and is thinking about, well, I'm interested, I think I would like to join the program. If there is such an opportunity, what should they do?
So it's funny, I was talking to a few candidates, I'd say, for the mentorship program, and based on their current level, like in business and life, I was asking for advice, and I said, what would you suggest in terms of like the acceptance criteria? And again, I wouldn't reveal the name yet, told me that they should have at least a successful 7 figures website flip or build. And the reason for that is that I'm sure there are plenty of other people who can give great advice, but you really need some kind of track record to prove yourself, or anything that would, let's say, give you bragging rights, so to speak. Like, again, if we return to the EAT concept, who the hell are you to give advice to someone who's just starting out? Because there are so many scam artists in the industry who build a personal brand almost on hype, and unfortunately, create courses without actually knowing what they're doing, or just selling advice without doing it themselves. So you have to do it yourself. And moving forward, we haven't officially closed the membership program. We just raised the bar in terms of acceptance criteria.
Yeah.
And I believe there's always, like, you have to enjoy. I believe when we were interviewing Tim Schmidt initially, like, he's a successful businessman. I don't think like he has a money problem. And he said, really, I've been doing affiliate marketing and building businesses all my life. I really look forward to talking to people and sharing my knowledge. I really want to give something. And that is partially a criteria. So if you're trying to join the Odys mentorship program just to make money, I don't think you're an ideal candidate. If you still see money as an incentive, yet you're trying to help people, give away information, share knowledge bombs, and at the same time, you are keen to connect with people, contribute to building this network, this community, then most likely would want to talk with you. But really, there should be something special in your track record that would make you eligible to even give that piece of advice to, especially to beginners who are just starting out.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, thank you. So there you have it. Let's tackle one last thing. You mentioned in the beginning the pricing strategy, just for the sake of transparency and understanding, so that people, our members or people who are considering to join Odys, understand that it's not just a figure, a price of on a particular domain, website, or premium name. It's not just a figure taken from I don't know, from the skies, but it's actually a diligently calculated sales value.
We have 5 more minutes left, actually 4. I'll try to do my best. But generally speaking, when we initially launched the shop, we had higher pricing than anyone else in the industry. And that wasn't because we invested, let's say, $500,000 into the platform, so to speak, into the marketplace, because it's custom built. It's not like just a randomly installed Shopify. That's because the way we saw and perceived domains in terms of how valuable they are were different from everyone else. Slowly in time, we managed to get more and more people and to educate them, to have them understand how valuable these domains are.
Yeah.
Also, now that we have become a full-fledged two-sided marketplace, you cannot really be biased when it comes to pricing. You have to have that level of transparency. Why is a domain worth $3,000? Where I can see some other similar domain names that are worth just 500 in, let's say, auctions or some other marketplaces. Also, one more other thing. There has been a school of thought in the industry that domains listed for sale in marketplaces have a higher margin. That's why you'll get ripped off. Go buy from auctions. Well, what happened is some of the auctions, I won't name any brands right now, became so popular that domains that would sell for 4 figures end up selling for 6 figures, just because everyone has been going to auction and have been bumping and hyping the price without a reason. So what we realized is that we need a system to price name value, and we need a system and an evaluation strategy to price link value. And we also need a system, obviously, but the industry is somehow more educated and has already progressed tremendously when it comes to that website value, especially if it makes money. That's easier. So with name value, we looked at the entire industry and we said, well, how much is a domain made of 1 dictionary word worth? How much is a domain, a .com domain, for instance, made of 2 dictionary words or 2 recognizable words or 2 words that pass the radio test worth? And we came up with certain figures, and that wasn't biased, so to speak. That was based on a carefully analyzing the biggest marketplaces in the industry, let's say hundreds of thousands of domains, checking historical records, seeing how much these are really worth, and just going with the bare minimum in terms of evaluating, like we won't hype things up. Now, when it comes to link value, we said, well, a domain name, an H domain, has 100 referring domains. Like, there is value in that. Now, obviously, among those 100 referring domain names, you will have a New York Times link that can be, in theory, interpreted as being worth 10, 20, 30, whatever, $1,000. And you can have like, let's say you're talking about a legal domain, you can have a link from a legal directory that may be worth, let's say, a couple of $100. Like, what would be the average price of a link? And we'd say, well, what would be the average price of a link, generally speaking, in industry, just to get a one-time permanent link? And we thought, there is no way you can get anything for lower than $100. And then we'd say, to make it worthwhile and to make it fair, let's price what the one referring domain name, one unique link powering a domain at just $10. So in other words, a domain that is powered by 100 unique referring domain names would be priced at $1,000. Now, if it has name value, obviously you have to take that into account. So let's say if you're talking about a two recognizable or dictionary words.com domain, that would be, let's say, a $3,000 name value. Why? Because the exact same domains sell elsewhere for this price and they actively sell. And now you add the SEO value. And obviously you end up with a domain name that is made of two dictionary words, let's say gardeningwisdom.com. You have a name value of $3,000. And if it's powered by 112 referring domains, then you add up $1,200, let's say, for the link value. And now you end up with a domain that's worth, when evaluated, let's say it's you who submitted the domain for sale, it's worth $4,000 plus. And the reason this is important, because we are aiming to somehow regulate the market that we at least have access to. Why is this necessary? Well, to avoid cases when you as a seller are emotionally attached to a domain and you list it for sale, and we'll ask you, how much do you want for the domain? And you'll say, well, I want $100,000. And all right, no problem, we'll list it for 100. Well, and you have a beginner who doesn't know what he's doing. Maybe he's using investor money and he's buying the same domain that is really worth just $4,000 for 100 grand. So, or even worse, he's saying like, Odys is ripping us off, or Odys sellers are ripping us off. So we have to we had to come up with a strategy to somehow regulate the market. Obviously, there are domains that are more unique, like if we had abc.com or box.com or any 3 letters, 4 letters, pronounceable, unique, really unique inventory. I mean, that is very difficult to assess the real value. But what we call replaceable inventory, like if you have gardening wisdom or wisdom gardening, that is very similar, and it can have a similar pricing. So our viewers right now, or those who are members of the marketplace, they can now have, let's say, peace of mind that the entire pricing strategy is pre-validated. And regardless if they buy one of the domains that we own or a third-party owned domain, that has gone through our due diligence, not in terms of like abuse and spam and all the bad stuff that can happen to a domain, but actually the domain that landed up in the marketplace and has been published has been fairly evaluated, considering the market sentiment, the link value, the name value. If it hosts a website, the website value itself. That is really important. We've just launched the program. We've successfully reevaluated all 1,200 domains that are listed for sale in the marketplace right now, and with great success, because we're seeing more sales. In some of the cases, we had overvalued domains. In some of the cases, we had undervalued domains. And it's no one else's problem if you overpaid it when you bought it in the first place and now you want to sell and make money. That's no one else's problem. The domains has to be priced at a fair market price. And this is what we're trying to do. Obviously, lots of polishing and improvement on that. But yeah, it took me 7 minutes, not 5, but I think I've
you did well.
managed to explain at least the basics of the new pricing strategy.
Absolutely. Yeah, you did absolutely well. Pretty clear and crisp. So yeah, I think it's time to wrap up. Alex, thank you very much for joining this special episode.
Cheers, thank you for having me.
Stocks Marketplace special. Always a pleasure. So yeah, I hope everyone got answers to some of the unasked questions, even if not all. If you still have any questions, you can always reach out to us via the chat feature on the website. Make sure to join us next time, because next time we're getting back on track. The next edition of Odys Talks is going to feature Carl Broadbent, Jared Krause of Selling Online Businesses, and Kyle Claver. I think it's going to be his 3rd time on the show. And yeah, yours truly as well. So until next time, see you everyone.